Winning doesn't come easy on Saturdays, but Texas has remained perfect after their win over Wyoming. And it wasn't the biggest game on their schedule, but it was still a very important weekend from a recruiting standpoint. The Longhorns hosted five-star wide receiver Ryan Wingo on an unofficial visit. He used his official visit to Texas in June, but he was back in Austin this weekend on his own dime. Now, today, we also need to find out why edge Solomon Williams did not show up for his official visit to Texas this weekend. All right, let's get it going. Texas fans, subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We were doing it over at the On3 network, but now, today, we have a new channel dedicated only to recruiting, and we need you guys to get it going. All right, let's bring on Gerry Hamilton of Inside Texas. Gerry, there was a lot of good wide receivers on campus, including five-star wide receiver Ryan Wingo, but he might not even been the best wide receiver there. Duncanville five-star 2025 receiver DeCorian Moore was also there, the number 2 rated wide receiver in that class and number 9 overall, but he committed to LSU in August. Where do things currently stand between him and Texas?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, he's Austin family, right? His mom's from the city of Austin. We're talking about DeCorian Moore, the five-star out of Duncanville. His grandmother went to the University of Texas. Mom's side of the family, still a lot of people live in Austin. Chris Jackson's done a good job with that recruitment. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle all the way to the end. He came down yesterday. He walked out from under the tunnel with Colin Simmons, Duncanville teammate, fellow five-star. Duncanville doesn't have any talent at all, right, Josh? But he walked out from under the tunnel with Colin Simmons. Obviously, Colin's committed to Texas. He's working on the Texas side with DeCorian Moore, because it's interesting. DeCorian Moore commits to LSU over Texas. Colin Simmons commits to Texas over LSU.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of back and forth there in that recruitment. But, you know, walking around before the game, he spent some time talking to Chris Jackson, the Texas wide receivers coach, said hello to Jonte Cook. All those guys know each other from growing up together in that South Dallas area along I-20. One of DeCorian Moore's best friends is Jordan Johnson-Rubell out of Fort Worth, who's at IMG Academy, committed to Texas, and those moms are very good friends. So Texas is going to be right there until the end. You know, his family liked that he was back on campus in Austin.
Yeah, and Gerry, you were in Austin for that game against Wyoming. You got to watch the recruits all interact and stuff. What's it like with Colin Simmons on the sideline, the five-star from Duncanville? What's his presence like amongst these other recruits?
Yeah, you know, him and DeCorian were a little later getting out onto the field. A lot of those kids came out really early. Saturday was a scene, right? You just beat Alabama. Sergio Garcia, PGA Tour major champion, who married the daughter of former Texas quarterback. Everybody, Miles Turner in the NBA, you know, TJ Ford, Brian Arakpo, all those guys were all on the sideline. So it was an event Saturday after beating Alabama, needless to say. But, you know, Colin Simmons, when he walks out, all the commits say hello. They run right up to him. Colin Simmons spent a couple of minutes with Jonte Cook. I actually posted a picture on Twitter after Jonte was done with warm-ups there, the freshman receiver from Texas from DeSoto. Again, those guys kind of grew up together. Mm-hmm. He spent some time with Jonte Cook, and then Colin he watched the defensive end guys, the edge guys warm up. He spent some time with Zeno Umeozulu, the recent Texas commitment. But, you know, Colin's not a guy that was boisterous out there really. He just kind of moved, said hello to everybody, talked to the Texas coaching staff. Sark came over, spent some time with those guys as well throughout warm-up. So it was definitely, I mean, you know, you just mentioned it, Josh. There were at least 3 5-stars on campus.
All right. Now, there was one official visitor that was expected to be in, but he didn't make it. I want to know if there is cause for concern for Longhorn fans. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about 4-star edge Solomon Williams out of the Tampa Bay area. This has really come down to an Alabama and Texas battle. Coming off of the Longhorns' defeat of the Crimson Tide, this was supposed to be a very special weekend for Solomon Williams. But, Gerry, he didn't make it in. What happened?
Yeah, so family member had a health issue, and that kept them back in Tampa. So it looks like September 30th is when that visit could be rescheduled for. So we'll see. So it was more of a health issue within the family. The mom couldn't make the trip with Solomon, but due to that, and it wasn't her health issue, it was within the family, but the mom couldn't make the trip due to that. so they wanted to reschedule because Solomon made an unofficial in July with his head coach Marshall McDuffie, but his mom's never been on campus in Austin. So the next time Solomon comes to Austin, they want the mom to be with him naturally going through this recruiting process. So that's when that visit will be rescheduled, likely for September 30th.
All right, so it's no reason for concern as of now with Solomon Williams. Let's move on to five-star wide receiver Ryan Wingo. He visited Texas, and he brought the family. I paid close attention to that. We know that the family came in on their own dime because it was an unofficial visit, so that makes it even more special. Gerry, is this kind of all we need to know? Like, he brings the family in. It almost seems like that's one of those visits where it's like you want to reassure everybody. You want to show everybody what you've seen, get the family on board, kind of check all the boxes. But what are you hearing now after Ryan Wingo took another visit to Texas?
Yeah, I think Texas came into the weekend confident. I think they remain confident. Now, he says he told Chad Simmons this morning he'll be at Missouri next weekend, right? So this is a recruiting battle that continues, but I think Texas is working from a place of confidence right now. We'll see what happens after that Missouri visit. Obviously, they had a big 61-yard walk-off field goal win over Kansas State, Big 12 foe of Texas for one more year. But like you said, Ronnie Wingo Jr. was there. He walked out onto the field with Ryan. All the Texas staff members on the offensive side, they were giving Ryan plenty of attention, as were the kids committed to Texas, whether that be DeAndre Robinson, who made an official visit with Ryan in June, and also was at Colorado with him, just so happened to be on an unofficial visit in the spring. So all the Texas commitments, they gave some special attention to Ryan throughout the day as well. But when he was out there on the field, I mean, Chris Jackson walked up, Steve Sarkisian. I mean, Torrey Beckton, the strength and conditioning coach, talked with the family, and the family was very attentive standing next to him, watching those wide receivers and warm-ups. But I think Texas is working from a position of confidence. Now we'll see if they close it out.
All right, here's what else Ryan Wingo told our colleague Chad Simmons. Quote, "My focus now is to finish out the senior season strong and then commit in December." That's what Ryan Wingo said. So, but you mentioned something that got my brain thinking, right? He's going to go visit Missouri next weekend for their game against Memphis. Well, It sure feels like he's kind of going to see his final two one more time. And it sounds like that could set up a decision. Of course, he's not saying that. But doesn't it kind of feel like that a little bit?
Yeah. Look, if he doesn't make an official visit to Tennessee the 30th, and he just goes to Texas on this weekend and Missouri on the 23rd.
Then let's just knock this decision out.
It's a long time until December to sit there and think about two schools with a decision. I mean, so we'll see if Ryan Wingo actually decides in December. I'm going to go with no. I've been going with no from everything I've heard. But Ryan continues to say December 20th. Let's just see. If he doesn't make a visit to Tennessee at the end of the month, I mean, what's left for him?
Right.
It's Missouri or Texas.
That's kind of the way I see it. All right, Let's talk about one more five-star before we get out of here. Colin Simmons reached out to Kobe Black, the five-star corner out of Waco, Connally, Texas, and also Ryan Wingo, saying basically time will tell. He tweeted him, "Time will tell," with the hourglass emoji. And Kobe Black responded with some hourglass emojis of his own. So, Gerry, I want you to decipher what that means. No, I really don't. But how much time do you think is left in that Kobe Black hourglass? When is he going to be ready to commit?
Yeah, look, it's been – we keep hearing it's close. It's very close. It's closer. Texas has a big lead. He was back at Oklahoma State to watch his brother play this weekend. He didn't make that LSU official visit 2 weekends ago. So it seems like A&M's the only one really with a realistic chance to battle Texas. But Texas is so far out in front. Again, this is a decision that was supposed to go into December to signing day. I don't think it will. If he comes out of the month of October not committed, I'd be surprised, Josh. I mean, he's got a couple of potential October official visits, one to A&M. It being one of those. But we'll see if he actually makes those. I mean, by not going to LSU, I think it was kind of telling, even though he's been dealing with a little bit of an injury, that this process is definitely coming towards a close.
All right. It felt like that, and Colin Simmons is doing his job as recruiter. And Gerry Hamilton, thanks for coming on the Inside Scoop and doing your job, which is dropping that Texas recruiting scoop. Appreciate you.
You got it, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.